All right, we're live on the radio now. We're live on there.
Oh, Al's not here tonight. Yeah.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and your local Moe's Southwest Grill locations, 13 strong across the upstate, have teamed up with Aurora and Tigers for Tatas. Stop by any of the 13 Moe's Southwest Grill locations and purchase your Tigers for Tatas wristband for $10. 100% of the proceeds go
I can't hear you very much.
All-In Team Foundation. Get your Tigers for Tatas.
Yeah, just very, very faint.
Wow, I can hear both of y'all very clearly. Okay, I just want to make sure. Yeah,
you're very, very
I'm
faint.
always worried about that.
For me. I can't hear her at all, really.
I can. Yeah, are you plugged all the way in, Morgan?
Yeah. Hello? No, it's just a short, yeah. Okay, now I can hear you. It has to be like halfway in. Okay, all right. Can you throw another minute in there? If you don't mind.
Prepared. I can do this standing up. This is actually sitting on the head.
Gonna get in. What's up? Krusty Buster already in. Kevin already in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ramona, I was gonna use the I can use the miniature with the first break.
They'll just use the bathroom after for a second.
I'm on it. Get a little behind. Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Clemson fans, it's time for the Morgan Thomas Show, live on the board. Authentic opinions, detailed film analysis, in-depth recruiting coverage, and more. Now, here's your host, Morgan Thomas.
For the thousands watching on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, and the millions.
And millions.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was waiting on that. Last 2 weeks, I hadn't got it. I was a little nervous. And millions that are listening on 105.5 and 97.5 The Roar. This is the Morgan Thomas Show. We are again in Clemson, South Carolina, Priority One Studios. Thank you in part by the lovely and wonderful Ramona, who is producing the show. Again, staying another hour late so that we can have our fun and talk about the Clemson Tigers, because there's a big game coming up Friday night.
Really? I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, every game's big now.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not just look to the next week. Now it's like every game is big. And so I'm excited to talk about that. We got a big lineup. We really, last week, only talked about the Clemson Tigers, which I'm not complaining about. But we do have our Park National Bank where you meet more, you pick up contest that we are leading. Well, we're tied for first. It's been like 3 weeks in a row. We're tied with the evil Brad Sink.
Well, I don't hold that same opinion about Brad as you, Morgan. I think
he's
Brad's
only in the competition.
We're competitors, okay?
I'm an AEW wrestling fan.
Yeah,
so I have to add a little bit more spice to the rivalry there. The evil one, the heel, the NWO.
I love the NWO.
Yeah, the NWO is kind of cool.
The NWO
they were. Yeah. I take it back. All right, so we are in a heated battle with those, with Brad Sinkis there in the press box in the morning, and we'll go through that. We're going to go through what we thought about the week 6, because it was a good week, even though there were some frustrating things that kept me up late at night, talking with some crazy Clemson fans or people that I believe pretend to be crazy Clemson fans. And then, again, we're going to get into the game, Clemson versus Syracuse, at this weekend. A lot of top stories around the world of Clemson Tigers football. To start out with, that a legacy recruit picks up an offer, and that is Mr. Sapp, Patrick Sapp's son, tight end, because Oscar Delp decided to go to the University of Georgia, which, go figure, if you're a 5-star recruit, you're probably going to go to the University of Georgia. I mean, come on, I get it. Literally everybody.
Yeah.
So were you surprised of where he ended up?
No, I'm not really. I just, look, I know people hate the fact that Oscar Delp went to Georgia. I don't mind it as much just because we get to see the same Gamecock Twitter, Gamecock fan base that thought they were going to land this kid 6 months ago, posting up signs, we want Delp, we want Oscar Delp. And, you know, we had that sign of the, what was it, down to 5 Points in Columbia, the Cotton Gin had that sign that was like, we want Delp. And he's not going to South Carolina. So,
You know,
this stinks that he's not going to Clemson, but I kind of figured early on he's going to Georgia.
didn't really think so. You know, it was a long shot for sure. He came and visited, but it just never felt right, right? At least, to your point, though, at least you didn't do what the Spurs Up show did on Twitter. I don't understand this because, to be honest with you, I've had parents of players, parents of people just looking to see where they want their kid to go to college and know that I'm a diehard Clemson fan and I'm a Clemson graduate. I have had many people come to me, and you know what I say most of the time? I say, hey, I think Clemson is the best place to go. However, I want you to find the place that you feel most comfortable with and you feel like you're going to fit. And it doesn't matter where you go. If you feel like you're going to be successful there and that's where God wants you to be, then go there. Don't be held to what Morgan Thomas says, even though what I say should be, you know, pretty high up there.
Right.
But I would never, I mean, I just don't understand. You're a professional show and you say,
Professional, that's
make the move, go to Athens, be a number, come to Columbia, be a name, make the move. We want Delp. That is so desperate.
You know, I'm not going to dive into it too much. I actually had an interaction with him a few months ago regarding some stuff he did with Todd Boyd. I'll leave it at that. You can find that on my Twitter. You know, it's one of those things where every fan base has it, though. Like, I feel like when it comes to recruiting, Clemson's not as bad at attacking recruits or going after it. But, you know, there are going to be some people that jump onto that the same way. But, yeah, I mean, it's not a good look when your entire fan base is diving in on a tight end to be the game changer of the entire program. I'm not saying, and that's not a knock at Oscar Delp either. Oscar Delp's a great tight end. But if you're like, this is going to be what brings us over the edge, I don't know if that's the great plan for your for the rebuild.
I mean, you are obviously a supporter of that university, and I get it, but like, let the player choose. You know, I'm just completely against ever saying, hey, you have to go or you should go here and make it matter, because you really don't. I mean, it's everybody's own opinion, right? I mean, you know, my school's better than your school is better than their school. You know, there's always the opinion there, right? But for me, I think that you know, Clemson was never really in it with him. Going back to him specifically, now they've given out a legacy offer, which I think most people do think he will commit to Clemson, and that is Josh Sapp, Greenville SC 2022 tight end that they offered today, actually.
Yeah.
And you know, while he may not be you know, the biggest, flashiest star, he's an 86 tight end and the 28th prospect in the state.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who
cares, right?
Yeah, who cares? Like, look, if you're mad about certain things, I've seen him play live. I live behind a high school that's in the same region as Greenville High School. I saw him play last year. I've seen his film. Kid can play. And there's a lot of athletes on that Greenville roster that I'm surprised that they haven't made a run at the state championship this year. He's a great player. Is he someone that's going to come in and look like the body type of Braden Galloway? Not exactly. But, you know, I think he can still be just as effective. And I think coming into the situation he will be assumed next year, then he might be all right. You're going to be behind presumably Davis Allen, Jake Brenningstool, and Sage Ennis. That's not a bad start to things, and I think he's going to just get better from there.
You get back into the same old situation that I almost want to just give up Twitter.
Oh,
honestly, I almost want to give it up because guess what? The minute that he says he's going to Georgia, what do you hear? Oh man, Clemson needs to go to the transfer portal. He's got the transfer portal junkies on Twitter. I feel like it's transfer central. You know, we need to get in. We need to get a transfer portal tight end now, right? And I say listen, you've got Sage Ennis. Let me. I'm just skip somebody. I just skipped two guys actually. You got Davis Allen.
Yep.
You've got Jalen Lay,
yep.
who you know, very hyped up. We're still waiting to see him flourish. You know, but still, you got Jalen Lay, guy you've been with, program guys. All right, program guys, culture guys that you've had faith in, that you recruited from the beginning, that love orange and purple. That aren't just some fly by the seat of their pants, go wherever they're going to play, transactional players. So many people want Clemson to be transactional. And for 10 years, they've praised Clemson for being developmental, for relationship building. And now it's, we need to be transactional. We need to get in the transfer portal. No. And if you look at the tight end roster, you see that, they do have a good group of guys there that you feel like more often than not are going to outshine anybody else that couldn't start somewhere else.
And here's the thing. Everybody's going to point to, well, you could have used help on offensive line. Yeah, you're right there. We talked about this last week, about how there were some injuries specifically in the 2017 class that they weren't just your typical, like, oh, he was out for the season kind of. These were permanent. They're no longer playing. That hurt. And, you had a couple other guys leave in 2018. So those particularly two classes kind of hurt, but you look at it, 19, 20, 21, and even into 22, Clemson's offensive line could easily in the next year or two be the strength of this team. So you want to take that opportunity away from one of those, high caliber athletes just to go get somebody who's going to be there for 1 year. It depends. Now, here's the thing. I think I can speak for you on this too, Morgan. We're not saying don't ever use the portal. I don't think we're saying that. We're not saying don't ever use that, but I
think you should use it more than the last time was 2018.
Yeah, well, I would say I agree. And here's the thing.
But every single situation that comes up, and this is going to be a theme for this show because it's been itching for me. But every single thing that happens to Clemson, negative or even doesn't even happen to Clemson, doesn't give another example of why Clemson's should use the portal. I mean, I'm so over it at this point.
I'm over it too because anytime another coach is in trouble for something, Dabo somehow gets involved with it. Like I remember seeing a tweet from someone after the Urban Meyer and even after the John Gruden nonsense, saying that they're trying to clump Dabo into those instances, and he hasn't even done or said anything. That's just kind of how it is when you're a polarizing figure. People just want to lump you in with things that aren't true. And that's the same thing almost with the negative things that are happening in Clemson's program now. Everything right now can be attributed to something's wrong with a coach, even though this coach has been doing great for the last 10 years. Something's wrong with this process that Clemson's been holding for the last 10 years has worked out. I don't think people see that this is just it could be, maybe it is. Only time will tell. That's what you can say. But really what this is I don't think people see this as just 1 year. Clemson could come out and win by 30 points tomorrow, and everything could be fine. Clemson could end up 10-2. Clemson could end up 12-2 at the end of this year. We don't know. And I think that's part of the problem I have with people that are just ready to jump to long-term conclusions about this program.
Well, this is not just a show about Houston and myself. Okay, this is a show about the fans as well. Again, if you want to see an insider view of what it's like to be on the radio here at the Roar, you can go to our Facebook page at The Morgan Thomas Show and watch us live and comment there. I'll get to your comments during the breaks. Also on YouTube Live, you can watch us there. And also, you can not only comment and message us there, but we have the Vyve Broadband Hotline, 864-654-7627. And then the Help There text line, 864-986-1566. Speaking of those things, we actually have Philip on hold right now. Let's bring him on. Philip, what do you have for us tonight? How's it going? We're doing good, man. Oh, yeah. Well, welcome to the show, Phil. We appreciate you getting on, man. Longtime friend, for sure. West Side High School, for sure. Let's do it. Come on.
Yeah, and I agree with you on everything there. I think, and I think you and I can both agree. Like, it's not bad to go to the portal necessarily, even in Clemson's case, if there's a situational need. But kind of like with Tennessee, I would say what Tennessee has done this year is utilize the portal for a need, because the system that Coach Heupel needs a quarterback specific, very specific talent to run that offense. So that's why he went and got Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton to create a competition with Harrison Bailey. And so situationally, I think Tennessee did it the right way, where you got a 5-star in DJ you want to ride out at Clemson. It's two apples and oranges situation. Absolutely.
I do feel like in that situation, I'm looking at the Tennessee roster. Yeah, I didn't really. Hooker is having a great year. I think he's got 18 touchdowns, 13 touchdowns, only 1 interception, 3-1 right now. Just having a really good experience there at Tennessee versus where he was. At where you remember his last game was versus Clemson, where he quit on the team because it was so cold and he was getting blown out.
Yeah, he walked out.
He claimed it was some sort of liver or
he said it was
blood.
Cold.
Yeah, it was something.
He said it was too cold.
Now he's redeemed himself.
Yeah.
And he's got Tennessee going, and they've got a big game coming up this weekend. Now we're not gonna. I'm not talking about him. I'm not talking about him specifically, but it's a big game this weekend because you got Ole Miss coming up, and I'm sure that they're gonna love the head coach coming to that game. I feel like. Do you feel like that most people in Tennessee are going to welcome him with open arms, Phil? Well, and on the Tennessee, go ahead.
I would probably say somewhere between 17 and 20, I would think.
I mean, it's been a big change for sure, a big positive move for this team. I appreciate that. I think Philip, we're about to have to go on to break, so we really appreciate you getting the call in. But what I would say is let's bring that after break, because I think it's a great conversation. And we're going to continue talking more college football, specifically about offensive game plans and Tennessee, and we even have picks against the spread coming up after the break. So hold on with us after this. This is the Morgan Thomas Show. Thanks.
Oh, well, you hung up.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm supposed to have somebody calling in soon, so he's gonna help us with the picks against the spread. Okay. All right, sounds good.
It's home renovation season. When's the last time you thought about replacing your crack covered driveway? You notice who has the newest driveway in the block? Guess what? They can you. Call Meanwell Concrete Green Bill today. Make sure you decide more than $500 off your project for 800 square feet or more. They can offer 12 months no interest financing. What are you waiting for? Call Meanwell Concrete at 864-24.
All right, so let me get in on Facebook and YouTube here real quick. Appreciate everybody getting in. Get to see my nice legs tonight on this view because Big Al's not here. I hope that's a decent view there for you. All right, so we got the norm in here. Again, I apologize. Whenever we have a caller, the caller was a Tennessee fan, Philip Stetman, good friend of ours, talking about, you know, how much different they have done this year versus last year and how successful they've been. Also talking about the transfer portal and how he felt like, you know, it's very situational. It's not cut and dry and always for sure going to improve your team. Could hurt your team. We got Krusty Buster. And then we have Bill Lanham. We got Evan Fields and Todd Teal, Bible Belt, Rick Gilstrap, Al Coon, Kathy Hicks, Kevron Harris, and a couple of others getting in. Thank you so much for joining in. Put Al's mic and headset so he can hear the calls. I don't know. You know what? I don't know if we can. I don't know if that's even possible. Maybe one day. Maybe we can get a. You know, there should be a way to pipe it in somehow. We'll figure it out one day. Anthony gets in and says, "Hey guys, what's up, Anthony?" Sorry. I'm just talking to the YouTube. Hey, call that Roar number. All right. Alex, the guy Alex, not Alex. Yeah, Alex can take the day off. We are back. It's the Morgan Thomas Show on 105.5, 97.5 The Roar, alongside Mr. Houston Burnett again, the college football expert, the half of the greatest college football co-host team in the universe.
I mean, arguably, I don't want to speak for Al, but I'd say maybe the greatest.
Oh, wow.
But
I said in the universe.
It's speculative here.
Talking about the universe, random thing, just has nothing to do with college football. Did you see the Blue Origin? Did you see William Shatner? Captain Kirk went to space.
Yeah, I don't know. If that's the human race's representation in space, I don't feel too confident that, you know, it's a great look. William Shatner.
90 years old.
Meeting aliens with William Shatner going, hi, William Shatner.
90 years old. You know what? All I need is $250,000, and I also can go to space. You can too. It's just save $10 a day. Just, you know, before you know it, you'll have it. Yeah. Compound interest.
William Shatner is in space right now, selling So Clean CPAP machine cleaners. That's what he's doing. That's where he's at right
now. No, he's selling Priceline.
No, he's not. He's not with Priceline anymore. He's
excuse me. Sorry. Excuse me.
Why I got my money?
But you know what? Okay, yeah. So YouTube's already getting it. Morgan, he did not go to space. He went to the edge of the Earth. He didn't really go to space. There is a Carmen line there that says he went to space.
Well,
now was he? What you know? Are you telling me that he's like Buzz Lightyear? Like you're not flying, you're falling with style.
What I'm saying is he's. I mean, can we say he's a fraud being Captain Kirk and not actually going to space?
He is now an astronaut, so you can't say that.
Kind of a fraud.
He is a legit astronaut
of a fraud.
Which Audrey, my wife, was saying, why do you call these people astronauts when real astronauts go through so much? And I'm like, well, you can call me a pilot. I mean, I'm on Flight Simulator.
No.
Oh yeah.
No.
Captain Morgan. Even though I was told that name's already taken.
Yeah, that's patented. Not to us.
Hey, guess what? It's the Morgan Tom Show. We're going to be talking about our Park National Bank You Pick 'em contest, where if you didn't know, you didn't know? Well, you better call somebody because guess what? You need help in the picks against the spread, and we've got help in the picks against the spread because we are actually tied for first against the evil one, Brad Sinkiff.
Asterisk, not evil.
Not evil. Just for this purposes of this game. But we are tied. I'm trying to look to see exactly what the record is right now. We are 36-24 against the spread with 6-4 this week, 5-5 last week. Brad Sinkiff went 6-4 as well. He's 36-24. Let's bring on Alex, the gridiron expert. Alex, can you hear me? Yes, welcome to the show, Alex. If you haven't heard of Alex, he's the gridiron expert over on YouTube. Got like 1 million subscribers over there. Maybe I'm exaggerating, maybe. But one day he will have 1 million subscribers. He does the most in-depth daily videos on YouTube. I'm so amazed at the hard work and effort he puts in. And I love watching it. I'm smarter because of him about college football. I suggest any of our listeners to listen to him as well. But what I would say is, we're going to go through our picks against the spread, and as I'm pumping him up, his call drops.
Oh,
wouldn't you believe that? Wouldn't you believe that?
Oh no.
What can go wrong will go wrong. But we are going to do our picks against the spread. While we're waiting on him to come back in, we did go 6-4. Games we lost last week. Uconn versus Umass. I mean, how were we supposed to know about that game? Really?
It's a brilliant play in there, though.
Now, I will say this. We lost Ole Miss and Arkansas. That one frustrated me. They go for two, and there's like 4 seconds left in the game. They're down by a touchdown. I'm talking about Arkansas.
Yes.
They're in the red zone, and the timekeeper leaves 1 second on the clock after the pass. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And even the announcer was like, how? At your home stadium, if you're the timekeeper, do you leave 1 second on the clock?
I mean, it was still a great ending. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Then they go in, and I'm thinking, you know what? I still got a chance because it's -5. I still got a chance because they can win by a touchdown in overtime. And then the coach goes for 2 and misses it and loses by 1 point.
Yeah.
Couldn't lose by a touchdown. Had to screw up my picks against the spread.
Yeah.
How dare he? I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, well, you know.
Now, on the flip side, Oklahoma waited to the very last play to cover.
Yes.
And that was that was one of the greatest games. There were a few great games that week.
Oh, yeah. Saturday was the best Saturday of games that we as fans were gotten to see all year. It was just wall-to-wall, great games, stayed up late. So let's dive into these picks.
Alex, are you back on?
We got to put him on, man.
No, he's on. He's
There
on.
we go.
He's on. You see where it says on air?
Okay. There we go.
The big red thing. We're still learning our computer.
We're still doing
that. Alex, don't leave me like that. Don't leave me without saying bye. Okay, don't leave me. You know, I'm just a rookie at this radio thing. If you disappear off of the calls, then I get a little nervous. All right, so you got to stay on. You know, and I know that feeling. You drop a call, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, I gotta figure out how to get back on here. All right, so we're going through our Park National Bank where you mean more picks against the spread. We're bringing in our expert picker, Alex, the gridiron expert over on YouTube. Subscribe to him over on there. And let's start through, okay? Let's start through with the games. There's 10 games. And I think we're going to start. Let's start on the back of the sheet here. UCF at Cincinnati. Number 3, Cincinnati. The computer says pick Cincinnati. The population, 81% says pick Cincinnati. 12 p.m. on ABC. There might be some rain, 60 degrees. Dylan Gabriel, not playing anymore, got injured. It's a very high spread, but everything in my body says pick Cincinnati. Alex. All right, so I'm going to circle Cincinnati there. Cincinnati, as some of the people would say. I'm going to mark off no UCF. All right. So next one up is a team that I know that you love, and that is Pitt at Virginia Tech. We got them at -5. Computer says pick Virginia Tech. I'm sure some home field advantage has to do with that. The population is 53% Pittsburgh. To me, with Kenny Pickett playing the way he is, how can you bet against him? Stakes are high. First place Coastal. Especially with the way they did me dirty against Georgia Tech. I picked Georgia Tech thinking, they'll keep it. No, they didn't. They didn't. And Pittsburgh, blew them out. So ESPN2, 3:30, check that one out. Another ACC matchup, NC State, number 22. NC State. NC State. You know what they deserve? Houston? A road loss while traveling to Boston College to give Clemson a chance.
Possible. I think it's very possible this week.
NC State -3, 7:30, predicting rain. And the computer picks NC State. The population has BC, 60%. Rainy game, and Clemson needs it more than ever for NC State to lose on the road. What do you got? I'm going to take BC to help my hopes out in the Atlantic Conference. I'm a Clemson fan, so. And this is another one that I know Houston knows more about than me. And I love BYU's beautiful blue.
Oh, yeah.
Number 19, BYU at Baylor, -6. Computer says pick BYU. Population says pick Baylor, 65%. If you haven't already, go check out the Gridiron Expert. Alex over there has a great in-depth picks every single week of a few select games that he thinks are the best. And he's got a lot of positive to say about the Baylor Bears.
I tend to agree with him.
Alex, what you think? Exactly. Mm-hmm. $45-20 versus West Virginia. By the way, 2 weeks before that, beat Iowa State, who was ranked at the time. I don't think they're ranked now. But all right, another one, a team that just came off a big win. We talked about that Oklahoma game. How about that Texas A&M Alabama game that finished up the night last weekend? A great game between two great SEC teams. Texas A&M. I felt like that kicker almost shanked that ball.
Oh,
I
yeah,
really
no,
did.
no.
I felt like an angel of the outfield came and grabbed it.
Yeah, that was one of those where it came off his foot. I was like, oh, man, he missed it.
Oh, he shanked it.
He just snuck it right in there. And I was like, oh, my goodness.
God blew a burst of wind across the field, I swear. Yeah. Okay, so 21, Texas A&M, -9, Missouri. Missouri can score, but if, to me, okay, computer says Missouri, population says 89% Texas A&M. I don't know why their computer's saying Missouri then. 12 p.m., 61 degrees, sunny, SEC network. I feel like if Tennessee can beat them 62-24, why can't Texas A&M? Oh, man, don't tell me about the letdown game. Oh no. So you think this is one to watch out for? This is if you're out there really, now we're not using real money here, but if you're out there using real money, you're a little bit worried about that one. Mm-hmm. All right, we got about 4 more left, and it's going to be a 2-minute drill here before we go to break, and we'll let you go for the night. Okay, 4 games left. You ready? Number 12, Oklahoma State. You just talked about them. At number 25, Texas, coming off kind of a heartbreaker there. They let one go against Oklahoma. Texas is a favorite, -5. Computer says Texas. Population says Texas, 57%. You know, I like what I saw with Texas, but Oklahoma State is a quiet 5-0 with wins versus Baylor, who we just talked about in Kansas State. 12 p.m., Fox, sunny, 76 degrees in Austin. Huge quarterback controversy. They don't even have the media going there. The student newspaper is having to watch from a building 3 blocks away with binoculars. TCU at number 4, Oklahoma, -10 with a quarterback controversy. PFF says that they would go with Oklahoma even as high as 14.5. So 10 is perfect for them. Population 72% Oklahoma. 7:30 p.m. ABC. Do you pick Oklahoma as well? Wow. Ooh. Number 13, Ole Miss at Tennessee, -3. Computer and population picking Ole Miss. Hendon Hooker looking really good right now. 1,000 yards passing, 13 touchdowns, 1 interception. 4 games, 3-1. Who do you got? All right, last game before we go to break. Number 11, Kentucky at Georgia, number 1 team in the nation. Georgia -23.5. I know it's gone down a little bit since then. Population picking Georgia, computer picking Georgia. But to me, 3:30, 75 degrees, CBS, no rain, at Athens. Kentucky, I'm watching this game against LSU. I'm watching this game against Missouri. They look good to me, man. They got Wan'Dale Robinson. He's a really good slot, like F-back, H-back type guy. Both teams are 6-0. I feel like 23.5 points is way too much. All right, Georgia fans, you heard it here. Go with the dogs with minus 23.5. I think it's a little bit less now, so you might even be even better off if you go in now. Alex from the Gridiron Expert over on YouTube. Check him out, subscribe, and listen in every single day almost. Right, Alex? All right, Alex, we appreciate you getting in. Thanks again for going through the picks against the spread. Again, this is the Morgan Thomas Show on 105.5 and 97.5 The Roar. Yeah, just talking. All right, let's get in over on YouTube here. We got John gets in and says he's talking what was going on. Yeah, I don't have a way to pipe it in yet, but we'll work on it. Thanks everybody for getting in. We're going to finish up with Clemson versus Syracuse talk. By the way, Ramona, I'm looking at your record here. Have you mentioned to Walt, Ramona? Have you mentioned to Walt that you're beating him? How does he feel about that? Okay. All right. So again, we are 36-24 against the spread right now. Bill Lanham gets in. He's always talking about how we do the best in our picks against the spread. And so we really appreciate the support there, everybody, for getting in. All right, so we did our picks against the spread. We talked about Oscar Delp. We talked about what were we thinking last week. We need to do our workhorse of the week.
Yeah.
Which Alan picked.
Kenneth Walker.
No. Last week, but he picked Harrison Whaley. I don't know a Harrison Whaley. I have no idea of a Harrison Whaley.
Ask him what team he's on.
We just look him up. Northern Illinois. So let's go.
I thought I had a great pick.
Harrison Whaley. This is kind of a dark horse for me. He's got a couple of 100-yard games. Has 500 yards rushing. So we'll see. But again, we're going to get back into more Clemson talk. Krusty says, one day they'll let us hear the calls. I just started appreciating Morgan when Clemson lost to Georgia. Now I'm a dedicated listener, even in the phone.
Yeah.
We appreciate it, Krusty. I need to do some more individual videos away from Houston because he disagrees too much.
With what?
I'm just messing.
Come on, man. You need to have the end of the game, man. The end of the game.
On a short week, the Tigers are looking to come back home with a win. Each
Who
one
got the
begins 3 hours before kickoff with the Tiger Tailgate Show. Catch it all right here on the Clemson Athletic Properties Network. Get all our college football coverage right here.
I did
105.5 and
Isaiah Spiller.
97.5.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Hi, this is Jeff with the Pound Cake Man in Clemson. Now that school is back in session, it's time to get ready for fall sports and tailgating. And the perfect ending for your meal is a tasty bait with fresh pound cake from the Pound Cake Man.
Yeah, I that's the one reason why I don't like having callers, which
we also offer free delivery anywhere in the Clemson area. so we can surprise a student or office on a special occasion.
Oh, okay.
Check out our bakery on Old Greenville Highway in Clemson,
Oh, okay.
or our website.
I don't necessarily like having callers sometimes just because we can't pipe it in. So you kind of have to, the solution would be listen on the Roar's app, which I know that's inconvenient there. But, what I was thinking is I might be able, before I leave, to pipe in the Roar and use the Roar audio instead of the microphone from the phone. So what I would do, here's what I'm thinking. I pipe in the Roar like an hour before. And then as I leave, it's sitting right here as a feature.
Yeah.
Like my desktop.
Yeah.
And then I do it from there. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Maybe.
Oh, Krusty's watching us on TV. All right, it's segment number 3 or hour number 3. I don't know, whatever. Hey, if you want to hear more of the Morgan Thomas Show, I want you to call into the press box and I want you to tell Ben Milstead how much you love us. Whatever. You know what? I messed it up. But I want you to tell him how much you love us and how much he needs to give us a 4-hour segment.
A 4 hour. I don't know if you need 4. We need 4 hours, man. You can talk enough to get us to
6. You saying 6?
Oh yeah, no, a full day. Just give us a full day.
24 hours,
24
Ben.
24 hours of Morgan.
24 hours. You heard it here.
If I could handle that. 24 hours of Morgan.
So Bill and Krusty, John, a bunch of people over on YouTube. If you haven't already gotten on YouTube or Facebook, again, the Morgan Thomas Show with Big Al in Houston, we started over on social media. So that's where we're staying, at least, for the near future. We're going to always be there on Facebook and YouTube. You can see behind the scenes of what happens on the radio while you're listening to the radio, or, you can watch either way. You can chat over there, or you can call in to the Vyve Broadband hotlines, 864-654-7627, or you can text as well. But again, all right, so segment number 3. We just got done. We talked a lot of things here. What were we thinking? We went through week 6. We went through our picks against the spread for Park National Bank, where you mean more pick'em contest, where we're actually tied for first there. And we need to do our workhorse of the week. Alan's not here. We're taking out a missing person on Alan here. I'm calling Dog Bounty Hunter to find out where Al's at. But Alan is leading the way with 460 yards total for his workhorse, where we pick the best running back of the week, and we get the sum of the rushing yards. No passing yards, no receiving yards, no nothing like that. No quarterbacks, only running backs. Houston's in second place with 386 yards total. I'm in third place with 344. If you don't know, that's last. This week, I'm going to go with, which, by the way, Alan picked Kenneth Walker III last week, the best rusher of the week, 233 yards. So congratulations, Big Al there. Now, for me, I was thinking about looking into Mateo Durant from Duke. They're playing Virginia, who has been giving up a lot of rushing yards. But Duke is such a bad team overall. I don't know if I can trust him to get over 150 yards. I really don't. So I went back on my first pick, and I'm going to go with a little bit of a wild card, not a Power 5 guy. Sincere McCormick from University of Texas, San Antonio. Versus Western Kentucky had 120 yards. Versus Memphis in a win had 184 yards a few weeks ago. They're playing Rice, not a very good team, allows 193 rushing yards a game right now. And Texas San Antonio has 93% chance to win the game. So I'm thinking this is a game where Sincere McCormick can bust it, can tear up the field. So I'm going with Sincere McCormick. Allen is going with Harrison Whaley, a guy from Northern Illinois, another kind of dark horse. Somebody, it's so weird. He went from Kenneth Walker III, one of the arguably the best running backs in the nation, to now a relative unknown and a guy who he has had a couple of over 150-yard games, notably 144 against Georgia Tech, 179 against Wyoming, and then was that like Maine? He had 130. So he's going with Harrison Whaley. They're playing Bowling Green.
Whoa. Boiling Green?
Boiling.
Bowling.
No, boiling. You gotta say it like that.
Boiling. It's spelled like It's spelled like bowling.
I'm not reading it. I'm saying
It's
it.
bowling.
Boiling.
Oh my goodness.
Boiling Green.
Oh, like Boiling Springs. Nobody says
Boiling Springs. Exactly.
No one says Boiling Springs. It's Bowling Springs.
Boiling Springs.
Okay,
That's what I'm saying.
Let's move on.
I am not saying it incorrectly. You're hearing it incorrectly.
We'll
All right.
love that there.
So, who do you got, Houston?
I have Mr. Isaiah Spiller. And it's not necessarily because of what his production, and don't get me wrong, he's got great production. 85 carries, 491 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was instrumental in their win, at least in the first half. I know he got a little bit nicked up against the Tide in the second half, but he was instrumental in their win in the first half against the Tide. I'm looking at Missouri's defense, and I see that they give up 288 yards rushing a game, and that is why I am picking Isaiah Spiller.
Greg on YouTube also says you better pick Spiller. But this is before you got out your pick, so he was already calling it for you. So you better pick Spiller from Texas A&M because Missouri has a horrible run defense. So a lot of people over on Facebook or YouTube, excuse me, not a lot of people, one person basically agrees with you. Which there's always one person that most people do agree with Houston. We need to get a T-shirt made. I agree with Houston. All right, so we talked about many different things. I went on my rant about the transfer portal. I really hate doing that because it seems like we have to do that every single week. But let's get into the game that is the most important for Clemson fans, and that is this Friday. Actually, tomorrow night, Clemson is going to face off against Syracuse in the Carrier Dome. Is it still the Carrier Dome?
Yes.
Okay. And then 7 p.m. on ESPN, Clemson 3-2, Syracuse 3-3. Syracuse, a close game against Wake Forest. I watched that game, and they screwed up a couple. They had a couple. Walt likes to pick on them about their coaching decisions. Which, speaking of Dino Babers, he comes out and he praises Dabo Swinney. Somebody called him out and said, somebody asked a question that said, what do you think about Clemson now that they're, kind of struggling on offense? And he kind of shot it down like, hey, they still have a ton of 4 and 5 star. They have hundreds of 4 and 5 star guys on their team, right? And, I think it was an honest question. I mean, their offense is completely different this year than it's ever been. I mean, in the hundreds in total offense compared to the last 4 years with Trevor Lawrence, or the last 3 years with Trevor Lawrence in the top 5 total offense is a complete shift. And they still haven't been able to figure out their identity, which Walt and I, at the beginning of the season, they had an identity. It just is completely lost because of the players are not playing. They're not completing their assignments. They're not executing, as Dabo Swinney would say. Syracuse, though, on the flip side, does have that identity. Kind of scares me a little bit. This is another one of those games where Clemson is favored by more than a touchdown, and I'm thinking pick Clemson plus 13.5. I picked Clemson plus, pick the other team. I picked NC State plus. I picked Boston College with the plus, and I'm thinking about picking Syracuse with the plus because there is nothing that proves to me Clemson to get high enough in the points to beat somebody by 2 touchdowns. I haven't seen it yet.
My head agrees with you. My head says, all right, this is going to be another roll up your sleeves, lunch pail, white knuckle to the end of the game kind of thing. But I look at Syracuse's offense, and as good as their rushing attack is with Sean Tucker and Garrett Schrader, I look at that, I'm like, that is a recipe for disaster for Syracuse. If you cannot throw the ball, which they do not want to do that. I know that they have, they've patched together a great offense with Tucker and I believe, I can't remember his backup's name, but him, Garrett Schrader, they run the ball really well. But they haven't had to go against a team that can have and does have the ability to take away your run game. And if Syracuse can't run the ball, at all, I mean, it might not matter if Clemson can only score 17 or how many ever points if you can't run the ball on them because they don't want to throw it. Now, the other side of me is like, I think Clemson at least takes another step forward on offense. They did against Boston College. I think, they take another step forward. What does that look like? If it's 24, if it's 27, if it's 30, any of those points, I feel comfortable picking Clemson. And if it's 27 to 30 points, I'd actually be comfortable taking them minus 13.5.
I don't know if I feel like this is going to be one of those games where Clemson figures it out. I think a lot of very hopeful fans are on one side of it thinking this is the breakout game. But it's been like 5 games in a row now where there's like, okay, let's hear the big breakout game.
Yeah, breakout, though, once again, is tamping your expectations. A breakout game, for me at least, I see that score they have 28-16 there listed in the numbers fire thing on ESPN. If that's the final score, I am perfectly content. Perfectly content with that. And if the offense is able to produce 28 points, given what we've seen this year, then absolutely. I think that's perfectly fine.
I at this point, with the way the Clemson offense is playing, I am also content with a win. Starting the season, it was like, what? Just a win? We want to blow everybody out. But now it's going to be difficult. I mean, the Carrier Dome, they've admitted that they don't pack the stadium, but it's still a difficult place to play. It gets louder and louder. They've redone the roof there, and so it's louder and louder there. But I do feel like that Clemson is in a good spot in the fact that they have literally been disrespected when it comes to the national media and also with their fan base. And unfortunately, there's what I'm going to call the far south or the far orange. I don't know what I'm going to call them yet. I haven't really figured this out. The burnt oranges, because they're so sour. We'll call them the sour oranges. We'll call them that. Right?
Yeah.
The sourest of sour orange Clemson fans. And they are so bent on explaining why they know Clemson should do this or that, or what's wrong with the Tigers. I am so tired of hearing people who have no football experience, who are behind an anonymous name on social media, just drag Dabo Swinney and his decisions through the mud. By the way, I told one of them, I said, hey, it's Dabo Swinney's house. He built it. He furnished it. He maintains it. We just happen to be blessed enough to live in the neighborhood and drive by it and enjoy it on the way to work. We need to let him work. It's in times like this where your true leaders come out. And that's why I'm calling out the true leaders of this team. The difference between Clemson is not talent. It's not play calling. As the Tennessee fan who called in Philip, a good friend of ours, you don't have to have some astronomically awesome, out-of-this-world play call. Your guy just has to beat the guy in front of him. So I'm talking to the leaders on the offensive line. I'm talking to the wide receivers. It's time to get open. It's time to make space. It's time to make a name for yourself in the histories, in the halls of Clemson. It's time for your jersey to be sold at Tiger Sports Shop. It's time for you to make a name for yourself. We want to see it. Friday night is the night to do it in front of the nation, 7 p.m. DJ, go out there and be confident. Believe in yourself and take it to the men in the orange that are going to wear all orange, which I think is even more disrespectful. You're going to wear all orange versus the best orange team? No way. No how. Take it to them, Tiger fans. Take it to them, Tigers. We'll see you at the top of the hill. I got a little long on my rant there.
Clear? Okay, we're clear. Yeah. That's actually a decent show.
I got a little long on my rant.
Yeah, you did. But it's okay. You actually got it in before the 20-minute mark. Like the other segments.
And then the...
Thank you, Ramona.
I always leave. Thank you so much.
Thank
we always
you.
Appreciate it.
Ramona, you're the unsung hero.
All right. So you know the drill over on Facebook and YouTube. You're still hanging with us behind the scenes here. We are going to clean up our area. Then we're going to be heading out. So, good show. Had a good guest. Ran a little long there at the end. Per usual. Be careful. Those are.
I'm not gonna.
I think those are things they're giving away.
Yeah, I'm trying to like not touch. I saw that when I came in. I'm like, why?
Krusty says, "Great show." Krusty, are you the one that I got to do a video on one of the linebackers? Didn't you tell me? I got to do a video on somebody? Because if you are, I will do it. I promise you, my friend.
Guys on Facebook, let Morgan know how much Clemson should use the transfer portal.
Oh yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Here we go. I'm
Don't
gonna
do
get
that.
blasted for my angry rants about the transfer portal because it's not really about the transfer portal, fellas. I mean, yes, you could use the transfer portal, but to be honest with you, the transfer portal is a scapegoat. It is an excuse maker. It is an external factor that does not impact this team this year. Could this team get better with it next year? Possibly. Should the team use it in the future? Maybe. But for this team right now, those players on the field have to step up. The 66 players, 77. I mean, if you're 3 deep, there's 22 players, offense, defense. You're 3 deep. That's 66. Why are we complaining about the 77th player, the 78th player? It doesn't matter. All you need is 66. Really, this team, all they need is 11. 11 on the offense to step up and show out. It's not about that one guy they missed in the transfer portal. Could it have helped them? Maybe, maybe not. But again, what this team needs the most is for these players to step up, the ones they already banked on. That's my point.
You need help there, bud?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I'm waiting out here for you.
All right. No loser support group Friday night. My wife will kill me if we do a loser support group Friday night. And I refuse to do one. We'll have to wait till Saturday. All right. Behind the scenes at the Roar.
Rock and roar.
Yes. 105.5.
Why are we whispering?
Ice cream. I don't know.
Creepy whispering.
Look at that. You know, I got that same poster. Look at that. All right. Oh, another great show, even though I went long at the end, and also said something about said the fact that I went long, and Houston was like, I don't think we're off air yet. So I could have actually kept going because Ramona was doing something else.
Yeah.
I thought she had already cut me off because I thought it had to cut me off, and she actually held it on purpose. So, oh man, well, it's getting dark out here. Game 1 of the NLCS is Saturday.
Yes.
Houston. A lot of people. Let's get into Houston. We're in the dark here.
Right.
Houston.
What?
A lot of people saying, let's move over here. I know you're a Braves fan. I wanted to get into some Braves talk with you real quick.
Talk, yeah. All right.
A lot of fans are worried that a lot of fans feel like even, no matter who wins tonight, Braves can't beat either one. Is that true?
I mean, the Braves have played really well against the Giants. It doesn't help that the first 2 games would be in San Francisco if the Giants win tonight. I hate pulling for the Dodgers, though, but if the Dodgers were to pull it off tonight, first 2 games would be in Atlanta. I think that's a little bit more of a conducive setting. But either way, I don't think people understand.
So it's favorable for the Dodgers to win?
Yes, the Braves would host the first 2 games if the Dodgers were to win. But the Dodgers are not starting Urias tonight. They're starting some rando dude that's not been in the lineup this week.
That's kind of risky.
Series. It is risky.
It's the last game.
Last game.
That's kind of risky. You go with your guy.
Yeah, I don't know. They're not going with Urias tonight. We'll see if the Giants win. I still think the Braves, and all the Braves have to do if they go play San Francisco, is win one game in San Fran, and I feel pretty confident. I think they can do that. So.
Oh, and by the way, Houston's not taller than me. He's on a pedestal. Just saying. Saying.
I don't know.
All right, Tiger fans. Well, again, we appreciate the support, everybody. It's nighttime over here. Might go get me something to eat. And hold on, you can't see me. You can't see. I should do like a Dave Ramsey. That's what I'm gonna do. Hang tight. Hang tight here. I'm gonna do a little Dave Ramsey style, Houston.
Okay.
Like post show drive. I'm gonna set it up. You gotta keep it going, man. You know. It's Is that what he does? He does it in the car. Yeah. Huh? Let me unscrew the camera. All right, I'm working on getting the camera unscrewed here. You guys, bear with me. I know it's dark. I know you're scared. It's Halloween, getting closer to Halloween. Everybody's afraid of what happens. All right, hang tight. All right. All right. I'm gonna throw. Still live. People are like, what's going on? Still live. Leaving the roar here. All right, bro. All right, see you, bro. You know, it's kind of dark in here. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think my idea is going to work, y'all. Kind of creepy. You know, Dave Ramsey probably has a really nice light, and I do not. So I can't do something from the car. But while we're here, thank you again, Evan, for getting in. Krusty, hope I don't see you Saturday. Yeah, that's true. A for effort. Thank you, Krusty. Yes. You know, hope you don't see me Saturday. Yes, again, no losers support group. My main point at the end of the show is to basically, you know, if there are any players, I mean, we're here in Clemson, 105.5 The Roar. You got to think some of these players listen to the radio. I listened to the radio in college. All I hear is trash about them. They get on Twitter. All I hear is trash about them. They're already a team that's not confident in themselves. They're already a team that's trying to figure themselves out, that needs leaders, that needs the one person, the quarterback, to be the most confident. So, DJ, if you're out there, do your thing, man. Just find your rhythm. Like, don't even care about what anybody thinks about you. Just go out there and just have fun. Think back to high school days, man. Don't get too stressed about it. I mean, to be honest with you, my remembrance of college is so far in the past. It feels like, you know, it didn't even happen. So, you know, you can't even remember it anymore. So enjoy it while you can. Appreciate everybody getting in. Krusty says, enjoyed your respect, their loser support group. Yeah, hopefully we don't have to do that again, man. We'll take a vacation from that. I will do it probably Friday night if we did do it. It'd be kind of late Friday. But, you know, might as well. If we're going to be up, might as well stay up and complain about it. All right, everybody. Well, hey, I appreciate everybody getting into the show and watching live and being a part of our show. Again, make sure you like this video and subscribe over on YouTube or follow us over on Facebook. Listen to 105.5 or 97.5 The Roar, or get the app and listen. because it's got great shows there. And as always, Tiger fans, we'll see you at the top of the hill.